So for changing the hydraulic transmission fluid on a John Deere 1025R, 1026R, 1023E, I have the 26R. I believe they're all the same though. It's very straightforward. It's a standard drain plug and filter. The one problem is the thing I'm showing right now. This is the housing for the magnetic screen filter in there. You're definitely going to want to change this. I had quite a bit of metal shavings in mine. And from what I've seen, that's pretty common. So you definitely want to get this. You don't want to skip it. Now, the thing that they're all going to show you, at least the one that I watched, which was a good video, but it showed, this hose, it showed, that you had to remove this, you had to pull this hose clamp and then remove the hose and also get to the one on the top part of this hose to remove it. And then get this bolt. And you'll notice this bolt is different than the one on yours. That's because I replaced it. But anyways, you do not need to do that. You don't need to remove this hose, and I highly recommend you don't. Mine is already super brittle from being on there for, a decade at this point. So I may well have, because I went ahead, I watched the video and I tried to remove it. So I moved that hose clamp and I sat there prying on it and it would not budge because it's totally brittle, totally dried out. So I should not have touched that at all. This thing's probably going to start leaking pretty soon here, and then I'll have to change that out. Anyways, do not remove it. Just remove the bolt right there next to it, and yours is going to be an Allen head bolt. And the reason I changed it out is as soon as I started trying to remove that thing, it stripped out. I'll show you. This is the one I took out. It's totally stripped. This is just a stupid, having an Allen head for a bolt this size is ridiculous. It's going to strip out. And this is an M8 by 1.25 bolt. You can find these pretty much anywhere. This one I threw on there, I think it's from an old motorcycle I had. But you can go to any hardware store and they'll have that. That's the standard thread metric M8 bolt. Just find one that's, roughly this long. I'd say about an inch, or a little more. That's perfect. And just throw this one out. And you're going to want to put I noticed there was some sort of sealant on the threads. I'm not entirely sure if that was, pipe dope or whatever, but that's what I put on there on the one going back in, is I just put pipe dope or sealant or whatever on there. So yeah, once you get this taken care of, the rest of the job's very straightforward. There's a drain bolt and there's a filter, and it's just a regular old oil change at that point. You also don't need to take off the rear wheel. Most people say you don't, and they're right. So if you've heard that, I wouldn't worry about it. If you really want to give yourself extra room, I guess you could, but it's absolutely not necessary. And the fluid I used, I did not use the John Deere fluid. I used this stuff, Agra UTTO Supreme. The important part, it's from TRIAX. These are they make pretty good oils. I've used them in my mowers and stuff before. The important thing is it's a full synthetic, so it gives you a much wider temperature range than the John Deere fluid. A lot of people just rant and rave that you should only use the OEM fluids. It's not just for John Deere. I think they're full of crap, especially in this situation. This is a significantly better fluid than the John Deere stuff, and it's about half the price, if I remember that correctly. Maybe it's a little bit more than half. the price, but it's still way cheaper than the John Deere fluid. I would definitely use this. It's very cold here right now. You know, it's in, you know, the single digits every morning. And since I've put this in, the tractor has quieted down significantly, especially like when it's running, you know, cold on startup or whatever. Before, it was making a pretty nasty, like ticking sound coming from the pump. It's not doing that anymore. It sounds great. So, and it was, you know, I'm pretty sure it was the John Deere fluid that came out of there. That stuff is not, it's not great, especially in, you know, really cold temperatures. But I would be willing to bet this stuff is better even in high temperatures as well, because it's a full synthetic. Gives you a much wider range, and probably a lot better lubrication too. And I had checked it beforehand. You know, it was you know, exactly on full before and after, and it was making that noise before. So the only difference here is the fluid, and this one seems to be running a lot better. There's just no reason not to use this. They even say in the manual that you can swap out oils. You know, people think you have to use this specific oil. No, they give several options in the manual. You can use the low viscosity, which is, I believe, what it comes with, the regular viscosity, or it even has a list of like substitutions, depending on the temperature and stuff. So I would have I see, you know, no issue with using this stuff. Even, you know, mine's an older one. It's obviously well out of warranty, but even if you have a newer one, I think you're much better off using this stuff. It seems great. So anyway, yeah, I hope that helps you with this job. I wish I had not messed with that hose, because I sat there messing with it for, you know, probably 30 minutes or whatever, trying to figure out how the hell you get it off, because the clamp up here, well, you probably can't even see that. It's buried way deep in there. It's basically impossible to grab. So getting that hose off is just not going to happen, and it's stupid because it's going to destroy that hose. Mine's probably going to start leaking here soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that helped you get this job done. It's pretty quick, and you'll see a huge improvement if you use this fluid. I'd be willing to bet.